Libra, pause for a second. Before you scroll, before you doubt this. Have you felt it lately? That quiet pressure in your chest, like something is about to decide itself. Whether you're ready or not, this isn't comfort, this is timing. December 24th isn't asking you to wait anymore. It's asking you to choose, or finally be chosen. There's someone who has been holding back, watching you carry more than your share, keeping feelings locked behind silence. Until now. And if you're here, Libra, it's because the balance is shifting toward you. Don't claim this out of desperation. Claim it because you're done settling for uncertainty. If this is landing in your body right now, quietly comment, "This is mine." Stay with me and trust yourself, because what comes next changes the shape of your life. Stay right here with me, Libra. I'm not talking to everyone anymore. I'm talking to you, because December 24th doesn't arrive loudly. It doesn't crash through the door. It slips in quietly, like a moment you almost miss until your body reacts before your mind does. That's how you know this isn't random. You've been carrying a kind of patience most people don't see. The kind that looks calm on the outside, but costs you something on the inside. Balancing, waiting. Giving people the benefit of the doubt long after they've stopped earning it. And somewhere along the way, waiting became a habit. Not because you enjoy it, but because you believe timing would eventually explain itself. December 24th is that explanation. This day isn't here to test you. It's here to close something. Not with drama, with clarity. You might feel it as a tightening first, a pressure in your chest, a sudden intolerance for things you used to excuse, conversations that feel hollow, connections that ask more than they give. That's not you becoming cold. That's you becoming honest. Because the truth is, Libra, this cycle has already run its course. You don't need more signs. You don't need more reassurance. You don't need to prove how patient you can be. The universe isn't asking you to hold on anymore. It's asking you to let the scales settle. And here's the part most people won't tell you. When something locks in, it doesn't always feel like relief at first. Sometimes it feels like stillness, like the moment right before a door closes behind you and you realize you're not going back. That's what December 24th carries, not urgency. Finality with grace. If you've been sensing someone circling the truth, hovering just outside of honesty, watching you from a distance they created themselves, that energy doesn't get to linger past this point, not because you demand answers, but because your silence has become louder than their hesitation. And whether they step forward or step out of the way, the outcome is the same. You stop standing in the middle. This is where love and stability begin to share the same space, not as a fantasy, but as a standard. You are not here to negotiate your worth anymore. You are not here to keep things balanced by sacrificing yourself quietly. From this point on, what belongs with you stays. What doesn't loses its grip without a fight. And if part of you feels emotional hearing that, good. That means you're present. That means you're ready. Take a slow breath right now. Let it land. Because the next thing unfolding isn't about waiting. It's about movement. Not rushed, not chaotic, but undeniable. And as we keep going, you'll start to see why this moment isn't just an ending. It's the exact point where something long overdue finally begins to walk toward you. Stay with me. There's something you've probably felt for a while now, even if you never named it out loud. A presence. Not close enough to touch, not far enough to disappear. Someone has been orbiting your energy, watching how you move through the world, how you stay kind even when you're tired, how you keep your balance while carrying weight that was never meant to be yours alone. They've been silent, not because they didn't feel anything, but because feeling something real scared them more than losing you. And Libra, that silence is cracking. December 24th carries a pressure that doesn't negotiate. It doesn't allow hesitation to hide anymore. It asks a simple question of the heart: stay quiet or step forward. For them, staying quiet is no longer an option. You didn't imagine the shift, the longer pauses, the way their attention lingers now, the subtle urgency in their energy. Like time suddenly matters. This isn't impulse. This isn't confusion. This is clarity arriving late, but arriving fully formed. What's coming toward you isn't a half answer. It isn't someone testing the water. It's someone realizing that if they don't choose now, they lose the right to choose at all. And the most important part, Libra. This moment doesn't put you on trial. You're not waiting to be picked. You're not wondering if you're enough. That chapter is already closing behind you, because the confession that approaches you is shaped by certainty, not desperation, not fantasy. It's the kind of truth that wants to build something solid, something that doesn't require you to explain your worth, something that doesn't ask you to keep the peace at your own expense. You'll feel it when it happens, not as fireworks, but as calm, as the relief of no longer having to guess, no longer having to read between lines, no longer having to carry the emotional weight alone. And whether the words come softly or arrive all at once, they change the ground beneath you. Because once truth is spoken, everything rearranges itself. This is where balance stops being something you maintain and becomes something you're met with. You don't have to reach for it anymore. You don't have to lean forward. What's meant to meet you steps into the same space willingly. If part of you feels guarded right now, that's okay. You've earned that caution. But notice something else too. The way your heart hasn't closed, it's simply become selective. That's wisdom. That's growth. Take a breath here. Let your shoulders drop. Because what's unfolding next isn't about proving anything. It's about receiving without guilt. And as this energy continues to move, you'll start to notice how love and stability begin to speak the same language in your life. Not loudly, not dramatically, but clearly enough that you finally stop questioning whether it's real. And when that happens, you'll understand why everything before this had to take exactly the time it did. Stay with me. There's more light ahead. Stay with me, Libra. Let this deepen without effort. There comes a moment when your heart gets tired of translating mixed signals. Not angry, just quietly done. You've lived a long time inside the in-between. Connections without names, promises without shape, moments that felt meaningful but never anchored themselves into reality. You told yourself it was patience, grace, understanding, but the truth is, it cost you balance. You were the one smoothing the edges, choosing your words carefully, lowering your needs so the room could stay calm. That wasn't love. That was survival dressed up as harmony. And now, something different is settling in. Love and stability are no longer separate languages in your life. They're beginning to speak as one. You can feel it in how your body reacts to uncertainty now. The subtle tightening. The inner pause that says, "No, not this again." That is your compass recalibrating. Because what locks in from here doesn't ask you to guess. It doesn't leave you wondering where you stand. It doesn't require you to keep the peace by abandoning yourself. This is the kind of connection that meets you in the middle, not halfway, fully. It doesn't rush, but it doesn't stall either. There's clarity in the way it shows up, consistency in the way it stays. You don't have to chase reassurance or earn basic respect. You simply feel steady. And that steadiness might feel unfamiliar at first. Not boring, just quiet in a way you're not used to. Because chaos used to masquerade as chemistry. Intensity used to feel like passion. But you've grown past that. What's aligning now understands your rhythm, your need for balance, your desire to build something that lasts longer than a moment. You're no longer the one holding everything together with invisible effort. You're no longer carrying emotional weight in silence while calling it fairness. From this point forward, reciprocity isn't negotiable. It's natural. You'll notice it in small things, plans that don't fall through, words that match actions, presence that doesn't disappear when it's inconvenient. This is how stability feels when it's healthy, grounded, alive, respectful. And if part of you hesitates, that's understandable. You've learned to be cautious with hope. But notice something else, how your heart isn't bracing for disappointment anymore. It's simply open enough to receive without tension. That's a sign of trust returning, not blind trust, earned trust. You don't need to define everything right away. You don't need labels to feel secure. You just need alignment. And alignment is exactly what's happening. This is where the scales stop swinging, where the constant adjusting finally rests. Not because you gave more, but because you chose better. Take another slow breath here. Let that land in your body. Because as this steadiness takes root, it begins to ripple outward, into how you move through your days, into how you see your future, into the doors that quietly start opening around you. And without forcing anything, you'll feel a subtle pull forward, not away from what you have, but toward a wider horizon that's been waiting patiently for you to be ready. Stay right here with me. We're just beginning to step into it. Stay with me, Libra. Let your breathing slow as this widens. Once balance settles inside you, something subtle happens around you. The world responds. Not dramatically, not all at once, but in quiet invitations that feel oddly timed and perfectly placed. You may notice it first as restlessness, a gentle tug in your chest, not dissatisfaction, expansion. Places you've never been start appearing in your thoughts. Conversations drift toward possibilities instead of limitations. Your days feel less boxed in, even before anything changes on the outside. That's the signal. When your inner life stabilizes, your outer life looks for room to grow. Opportunities don't crash into you, they recognize you. A message arrives that makes you pause. A name you haven't thought about resurfaces. An idea that once felt too big suddenly feels reasonable. You're not chasing movement anymore. Movement is responding to you. If you've built something of your own, you may feel the walls stretch, not pressure, potential. The sense that what you created wasn't meant to stay small, that your voice, your work, your vision has space to travel farther than you once imagined. And if your path has been more structured, more defined, you may feel an opening where there used to be routine, a shift in role, a change in environment, a collaboration that brings in a new perspective, one that doesn't threaten your stability, but strengthens it. What's important here, Libra, is how it feels. There's freedom in this expansion, but not chaos. You're not being pulled away from what matters. You're being invited into alignment with it. You don't have to uproot your life to move forward. Sometimes forward looks like widening your view right where you stand. New connections begin to mirror your energy, people who respect your time, who speak clearly, who don't need you to shrink to make space for them. Networking doesn't feel transactional anymore. It feels human. And travel, whether physical or symbolic, is no longer an escape. It's enrichment. You're not running from anything. You're moving towards something that feels earned. That's the difference now. Your nervous system notices it too. There's excitement without anxiety, curiosity without fear. You trust yourself enough to say yes without wondering what it will cost you later. And if a door doesn't open easily, you don't force it. You recognize when something is simply not meant to expand with you. That discernment is new and powerful. You've spent so long adapting to other people's worlds that stepping into a larger one of your own may feel surreal at first. But notice how natural it becomes when you stop negotiating your place within it. This phase isn't about proving your capability. You've done that already. It's about placement. Being seen in the right rooms. Having your work, your ideas, your presence meet environments that can actually hold them. And as this openness settles in, you may feel a quiet confidence replacing old doubt. Not loud, not performative, just a steady knowing that you're allowed to take up more space than before. Take a breath here. Let that possibility land without rushing ahead. Because as your world expands, it also illuminates something deeper, a renewal that isn't just about where you go, but how you arrive. And as we continue, you'll start to feel how this outward movement connects back inward. How growth doesn't only change your circumstances, but begins to soften your body, your spirit, and the way you see yourself in the mirror. Stay with me. There's a glow waiting just beyond this horizon. Stay close, Libra. Let this soften as it unfolds. You may not even notice the change at first. It doesn't announce itself in the mirror. It arrives quietly, in the way your body exhales when it finally feels safe. After December 24th, something inside you stops bracing. The tension you learn to live with loosens its grip. Your shoulders drop without you telling them to. Your jaw unclenches. Sleep comes easier, deeper, like your nervous system finally believes it can rest. This is where the glow begins. Not the kind you perform, the kind that happens when your inner world and outer world stop arguing with each other. Your face carries a different light now. Not brighter, calmer. People may tell you that you look rested, or centered, or ask if you did something different. You didn't add anything. You released weight. For so long, your body was holding what your heart didn't feel safe expressing. The quiet anxiety, the constant monitoring of energy, the exhaustion of being the steady one. And now, without forcing it, those layers begin to peel away. Your breath moves more freely. Your digestion settles. Your energy returns in gentle waves, not spikes followed by crashes. This isn't a makeover, it's alignment. When you feel emotionally protected, your body remembers how to heal itself. It knows what to do. You may notice your skin responding first. A softness, a warmth, as if you're lit from somewhere deeper than the surface. Your eyes hold presence now. Not searching, not scanning for imbalance, just here. And the most beautiful part, Libra, is that you're not trying to glow. You're not chasing confidence, you're inhabiting it. There's a quiet dignity in the way you move now, in how you take up space without apology, in how you allow yourself to be seen without performing harmony. Your body recognizes the shift before your mind fully names it. That's how you know it's real. Old patterns of tension begin to dissolve. The stress you thought was just part of adulthood turns out to be something you don't need to carry anymore. Your nervous system recalibrates, not because life is suddenly perfect, but because you no longer feel alone inside it. You start choosing yourself in small, unremarkable ways. Saying no without explanation, saying yes without guilt, eating when you're hungry, resting when you're tired. These aren't luxuries, they're signals of safety. And safety is what allows beauty to last. This glow isn't fragile, it's rooted. It doesn't fade when attention leaves the room. It stays with you when things get quiet. And as this inner and outer harmony continues to sync, you'll notice how your presence begins to affect the spaces you enter. Rooms feel calmer when you arrive. Conversations slow down. People listen. Not because you demand it, but because you're no longer leaking tension into the moment. You've come home to yourself. Take a breath here. Let that truth settle into your chest. Because this restoration isn't the end of the story. It's the foundation. As your body steadies and your light returns, something else begins to form around you. A sense of permanence. A feeling of enough. And without announcing itself, your life starts arranging itself into something that feels not just beautiful, but sustainable. Stay with me. There's a deeper stability beginning to take shape. Stay with me, Libra. Let this settle deeper now. When your body begins to rest, your life listens. There is a different kind of quiet that enters after the glow returns, not emptiness, security. It shows up first as a feeling of enough, not abundance you have to chase, not success you have to prove, just the steady sense that what you have can hold you. For a long time, money felt like something you had to manage carefully, as if it might slip away if you relaxed too much. Plans felt tentative, home felt temporary. Even when things were fine, your nervous system stayed alert. That vigilance begins to fade now. You start noticing how your relationship with resources softens, not reckless, grounded. You think differently about what you earn, what you save, what you spend your energy on. There is less fear in those decisions, more trust. This isn't about sudden windfalls or dramatic shifts. It's about alignment, income that makes sense for your life, work that supports you instead of draining you, a rhythm that doesn't punish you for wanting peace. Your sense of home deepens too. Whether it's a place you live in now or a vision forming quietly in your mind, home starts to feel like a destination instead of a question mark. You may find yourself organizing differently, letting go of things that carry old stress, creating space not just for comfort, but for longevity. This is stability with breath in it. Your work life begins to echo that feeling, not louder, clearer. Projects line up instead of pulling you in opposite directions. Your role makes sense within your larger picture. Even uncertainty feels manageable because it's no longer threatening your foundation. What once felt scattered starts to arrange itself without force. You realize you're not building on shaky ground anymore. You're building on yourself, and that changes everything. The future doesn't feel like a cliff you're approaching. It feels like a landscape you can actually walk through. At your pace, you're no longer measuring your worth by how much you can endure. You're measuring it by how well your life supports you. That's maturity. That's wisdom earned the hard way. And notice how your breath moves now when you think about the years ahead. There's less tension, less urgency. You're not behind, you're not late. You're right on time for a chapter that values sustainability over sacrifice. This is the kind of stability that doesn't demand you give up joy. It makes room for it. You can plan without panic, dream without pressure, rest without guilt. And perhaps the most important shift of all is the way you stop apologizing to yourself for wanting peace. You've learned that stability isn't boring, it's generous. It gives you space to show up fully, to be present with the people who matter, to build something that doesn't collapse the moment life gets heavy. Take a breath here. Let your feet feel the ground beneath you. Because this foundation you're stepping into isn't just about money or shelter. It's about trust in yourself, in your choices, in your ability to create a life that doesn't cost you your well-being. And as this steadiness anchors in, something else begins to rise quietly within it. A softer strength, a deeper sense of belonging, not just in your world, but in your own skin. Stay with me. There's a final layer waiting to be revealed. Stay here with me, Libra. This part is tender, and it's meant just for you. There's something you've carried for so long that it became invisible. The way you scan a room before you relax, the way you listen for what others need before you ask yourself how you're doing. You learned early how to be the steady one, the understanding one, the one who smooths the air so no one else feels uncomfortable. And you did it beautifully, quietly, at a cost no one ever calculated for you. Because while you were holding space, very few people held space for you. You noticed it in the pauses, in how conversations rarely turned back toward your heart, in how your care was expected, but your needs were treated like extras. You didn't complain, you adjusted. That's the part of you that kept the peace, and also the part that grew tired. After December 24th, something shifts in a way that doesn't require effort. You don't announce new boundaries. You don't explain yourself. Your energy simply changes its availability, and the world responds. You start to notice who slows down when you speak, who respects your time without you asking, who doesn't push when you say not today. These people don't feel intense at first. They feel safe. They don't rush your healing. They don't need you to perform kindness to earn their respect. They meet you where you are, without taking pieces of you in exchange. For the first time in a long while, you feel what it's like to be considered, not managed, not leaned on, considered. You'll notice it in small, almost ordinary moments. Someone checking in without an agenda, someone remembering what matters to you, someone giving without keeping score. And what surprises you most is how unfamiliar that kindness feels at first. Your body waits for the catch. Your mind looks for the hidden expectation. But it doesn't come, because this isn't transactional care. It's mutual. You are no longer the only one carrying the emotional weight. You're no longer the default caretaker of everyone else's comfort. You're allowed to rest inside relationships now, to show up without armor, to receive without explaining why you deserve it. And here's the quiet miracle in all of this. You don't have to prove anything anymore. Not your value, not your patience, not your goodness. The people who find you from this point forward recognize you without requiring sacrifice. They don't need you to disappear for them to feel secure. They don't need you to stay small to feel important. They simply meet you, as you are. You begin to trust again, not because you forget the past, but because you finally honor what it taught you. That lesson was never about enduring more. It was about choosing better. And choosing better doesn't make you selfish. It makes you honest. You start to feel lighter in ways that have nothing to do with circumstances. Your laugh comes easier. Your silence feels peaceful instead of lonely. You're not bracing for disappointment anymore. You're allowing yourself to be supported. Take a breath here. Let that land. Because this moment isn't about loss. It's about correction, a rebalancing that brings care back to the center where it always belonged. And as this new way of relating settles into your life, you'll notice how deeply it changes your sense of belonging, not just with others, but with yourself. Stay with me. We're approaching the final turning point. Stay with me, Libra. This is the quiet turning. December 24th doesn't arrive to persuade you. It arrives to confirm what you already know, that the cycle you've been living inside has reached its natural end, not with force, with truth. You may feel it as a gentle sorting, like the room finally settling after a long conversation. What belongs near you grows warmer. What doesn't begins to cool and drift without resistance. There's no drama in this release, no chasing, no explaining, no final speeches that ask for permission. Things simply take their place, and that is how you know this is real. Because you're not being asked to prove anything anymore. You're being asked to stand where you are, fully, honestly. What stays with you from this point forward does so because it recognizes you. It doesn't need convincing. It doesn't need reminders. It meets you in alignment, not negotiation. You've spent years refining yourself, learning how to listen, how to adjust, how to create harmony even when it cost you rest. This moment is different. Here, harmony doesn't come from effort. It comes from accuracy. From being in the right place with the right people at the right time without shrinking to fit. You'll notice how little energy it takes now to remain centered, how peace no longer feels fragile, how your yes carries weight, how your no lands without guilt. This is the lock, not a promise of perfection, a promise of congruence. What aligns stays. What doesn't finds its way out without being pushed. And, Libra, this is where your power becomes subtle. You stop reaching for outcomes. You stop scanning the horizon for validation. You trust the gravity of your own presence. Love no longer feels like a question mark. Stability no longer feels conditional. Being chosen no longer feels like a rare gift. It feels appropriate. You may look back soon and realize how much effort you once spent trying to keep doors open that were never meant to be entrances. There's no regret in that realization, only understanding. Every step taught you discernment. Every imbalance sharpened your sense of fairness. Every delay prepared you for this exact stillness. This is where your life stops asking you to audition and starts responding to who you are. If something feels like it's leaving right now, let it go gently. It isn't a loss, it's an adjustment. If something feels like it's staying, welcome it without fear. It earned its place. You don't need to rush the next chapter. It's already forming around you, quietly, precisely. Take a breath here. Let your body register this moment, because this isn't the end of your story. It's the moment the story stops circling and begins moving forward with intention. And as we step beyond this point together, you'll start to notice how ease becomes your new signal, how alignment replaces anticipation, how life meets you where you stand. Stay right here. The path ahead isn't calling for effort, it's calling for presence. Stay here with me for just a few more breaths, Libra. If this message reached you tonight, it wasn't to rush you. It was to remind you of something you already carry: your balance, your quiet strength, your ability to choose peace without losing depth. Nothing you felt today was an accident. Not the pause in your chest, not the sense of recognition, not the calm that followed the uncertainty. This is what alignment feels like when it arrives softly. You don't need to convince the universe anymore. You don't need to chase clarity. You are standing in it. And if a part of you is still learning how to trust this steadiness, that's okay. Healing doesn't erase doubt overnight. It teaches you how to move forward anyway. So, before you go, if this message reflected your own journey, quietly let me know you're here. Leave a comment, even just a few words. It helps this space stay alive for others walking the same path. If this voice felt grounding, take a second to like the video. Subscribe if you want to stay connected. This is a shared journey, and Libra energy grows stronger when it's witnessed together. Most of all, trust yourself tonight. Trust the choices that no longer hurt to make. Trust the calm you're learning to protect. This chapter is closing with grace, and the next one is already forming. There is more guidance coming, more clarity, more light. The journey continues, and I'll be right here when the next message finds you.